listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. I am your host, Jeff Henshaw. Thanks for tuning in. Cosmic Cousins is dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. And it is here to bring you back into alignment with the cosmos. So thank you for being here as always. Hey Cosmic Cousins, welcome back to another week of the show. This is Jeff Henshaw and I'm here for our Capricorn Full Moon ritual. So the Capricorn Full Moon, I'm recording this the morning of. Typically I'll record the day before, which I did record this episode yesterday, and then I had some delays and technical difficulties. And sometimes when we're working with the energy of Capricorn, there can feel like there are obstacles in the way. And so if you're feeling any of that this time of year, it's an opportunity to really step back and to practice patience with the self and with others around you. Capricorn is a sign of tremendous amount of perseverance and patience, fortitude, the ability to have foresight to see the long-term picture, the big picture. So we are offered a vantage point on this Capricorn full moon, and I also think it's kind of special because this is the supermoon. And so the actual date for this full moon is July 13th, Wednesday, July 13th at 11:37 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it is at the 21st degree of Capricorn, 21st degree and 21 minutes. So there is this repeating number 21. 21 in the tarot is the World card, which is the final card of the Fool's Journey. It represents a culmination. And the World is actually one of the cards that is associated with Capricorn. The World is traditionally associated with the planet Saturn, which is Capricorn's ruling planet. And so the World card will often show a figure who is completely in the nude, and they are levitated in the sky. They're levitating and they're dancing. And then around them is a laurel wreath, which is a symbol of completion or victory. And then in each of the four corners of the card is the four fixed signs of astrology. So there's a lion, an angel, a bull, and an eagle. So connecting to the World card could be interesting for us here on this Capricorn full moon. One, because this full moon is at the 21st degree of Capricorn, which is the World's number. Two, because this is the card for Saturn, which is Capricorn's ruling planet. And three, Capricorn is a sign as collective Earth where it is connected to the world at large. When we strike the match to the final four signs of the astrological wheel, and I'm saying strike the match because we always start with fire. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are the final four signs of the zodiac wheel. And these four signs are connected to the world at large, to global affairs. Capricorn in an earthy way. So Capricorn is connected to government, business, systems, foundations, organizations, and also the environment as a whole. And so when we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, things may reveal themselves that are a part of bigger systems. So your career or any organizations that you're involved in, things around the government and how it might also relate to you. You know, under the full moon, it's things become illuminated. So there's an opportunity if you need to put certain practical structures in your life, or if there's anything that is important for you to take care of for your health. Capricorn is a sign that rules over healthcare, collective Earth, whereas Virgo, interpersonal Earth, is about health between one-on-one relationships. So Virgo might work with someone one-on-one as a herbalist. And then Taurus is personal Earth. So it's about the health of your own body. There's some complexities to this, but I'm inviting us into this idea of the collective here and also the energy of the world card. And this is coming through even stronger right now because Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet, is in Aquarius, which is also a collective sign. And this is collective air. So it's about the community, humanity, the information that we distribute amongst one another, the internet, technology. So this is kind of setting the scene for us. But Wednesday, July 13th, the moon arrives at its closest point to the Earth for 2022, making this full moon a supermoon. And it's in the sign of Capricorn and conjunct Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. And so this full moon brings an intensity of emotional awareness because of Pluto here being next to the moon. And so Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, and it is a generational planet. So there's also intergenerational healing that's taking place here. The United States is in the middle of its Pluto return, and this full moon happens to fall just a day after the second hit of the United States Pluto return. And so I'll offer you these 3 dates, and these are the 3 points in which Pluto returns back to the place that it was at the founding of the United States. So the first hit of the Pluto return was February 21st, 2022. So you can think back to that time period. Second hit is July 12th, 2022, and this is Pluto retrograde, revisiting the Pluto return point. And then the final point for the United States Pluto return is December 28th, 2022. So it's sort of like bookends to the year, the beginning of the year, the end of the year, and then we're right here in the middle. And so this full moon being conjunct Pluto during the United States Pluto return, it does bring an emotional awareness to what the Pluto return might mean for the United States. Pluto in the tarot is the Judgment card, which is the second to last card of the journey. So we have both Judgment and the World card, and Judgment typically shows people rising from their graves, and there's an angel up above blowing a trumpet, waking everyone up. So there's a collective awakening happening. And for those of us who are more empathic, are sensitive, to have a full moon next to Pluto, this might feel like we are going into the depths of our being. There could be soul purging happening. You know, this is a time where we might be cleansing things out of our body. Emotions that have laid dormant might surface during this full moon. And so if something does surface, like a memory from the past, and you feel open to exploring that, it is really beneficial on this full moon. There's an opportunity here to really hold space for our emotions. It's Cancer season, and this is the only time of the year where the sun is ruled by the moon. So the full moon of Cancer season holds a lot of potential for us to bring emotional healing. Also, Asteroid Ceres is in Cancer right now, and the sun and Ceres are conjunct. And so that means the sun and Ceres in Cancer are in opposition to the moon and Pluto in Capricorn. So Ceres is the goddess of harvest and agriculture, and encourages the cultivation of all Cancerian themes, cultivating our intuition, our family, our healing. Ceres is also connected to agriculture and working with the land. So there is an opportunity here to really ground the energy, to come back to our environment. And, you know, Capricorn, again, it is a sign that is connected to the environment. And so this Cancer-Capricorn polarity is really offering a practical vantage point. So if your emotions feel overwhelming, reconnecting with the environment, actually getting your hands in the dirt, honor the parts of you that are hardworking and perseverant. This Capricorn full moon is a window of opportunity to shift our awareness from the need for recognition and more toward living in alignment with our values. And so whatever structures need to be put in place in order to ensure greater overall health for your body and for the environment is awakened at this time. And so a question that we might consider, since Capricorn is a sign that's connected to our public appearance, to our career, to our work in the world, this is a question for us to consider. In what ways might you commit to using your public offerings to offer greater healing to the earth? In what ways might you commit to using your public offerings to offer greater healing to the earth? And so the Capricorn Full Moon affirmation is, I listen to the ancient wisdom of my work. So go ahead and breathe that into the bones. This is Capricorn's part of the body. Each astrological sign is connected to a different part of the body, and Capricorn rules over the bones, the actual structure of our body. It's also connected to the knees, the skin, and the teeth. And so what does it feel like to connect to these body parts? And also, what does it feel like to breathe this Capricorn full moon affirmation into the body? I listen to the ancient wisdom of my work. So I have 3 phrases for us. I will always offer 3 phrases for the full moons and the new moons for each lunation, and these are often the traditional phrases associated with a sign, but sometimes I will take creative liberation and add another word or 2. The phrases I have for the Capricorn full moon are I build, I commit, I endure. I build, I commit, I endure. And so I encourage you to elaborate on these. Perhaps you use them as a launching pad for conversations or journaling. Venus is in Gemini right now on this Capricorn full moon, so this could be a really great time to journal. I build, I pulled a tarot card for each of these, and that's something you can also do in your own practice, but I pulled a tarot card for the collective for each of these, and for I build, we received the Empress. And the Empress is associated with Venus. And so I am curious about Venus for us on this full moon. As I was saying, Venus is currently in Gemini. She will enter Cancer by the end of the week. And that is on Sunday, July 17th, Venus enters Cancer. And I do think Capricorn can learn to become attuned to the energy of Venus. Whatever placements we have in Capricorn have this opportunity to learn what it means to unbind ourselves from the belief that we're not good enough. You know, Capricorn can sometimes be an energy that's really hard on itself. And so learning to work with Venus for Capricorn does highlight the earthy aspects that Capricorn, the traits that Capricorn has, but maybe doesn't fully nurture. And so Venus is relationship, beauty, nature, our values, our money. So I build. Take a look around you. What do you have around you that brings you beauty? What relationships do you have in your life? So I'm building relationships. I'm building beauty. I'm building the connection to the earth. This is the card that we received, the Empress. I commit. This was interesting. I commit. This is a very Saturnian word. And again, we said Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is currently in Aquarius, retrograde. And so Saturn has been in Aquarius since March of 2020. So we look to this time period to see how have we been under rules and regulations when it comes to Aquarius. So Saturn entered Aquarius right when social distancing measures were put in place in March of 2020. And so freedom may have felt restricted. You know, Aquarius is a sign of freedom. Freedom may have felt restricted since March of 2020. And Saturn continues to stay in this sign of Aquarius until March of 2023, so exactly 3 years. And so for those of us that have Saturn and Aquarius in our birth chart, or who have Aquarian placements, we have likely been feeling this the most. But this is, you know, things connected to all Aquarian themes: freedom, humanitarian ideals, our relationship to our friends, our community, the collective may feel restricted and under review. Aquarius also rules over the internet. So I've really felt this time period, I have felt more blocks in my life around the internet and social media. And it's an opportunity to set new boundaries in place to step up into a more responsible role. Using the internet as an adult. That's what I like to say with Saturn and Aquarius. So, yes, I commit. I'm saying that because Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is a sign of commitment. And so wherever Saturn is in our own birth chart, this is an opportunity for us to lean into commitment. So, for instance, I have Saturn and Sagittarius in the 11th house. I commit to teaching. Sagittarius is the teacher. The community, 11th house. This is part of my work here in the world. Saturn will show us where our work is in the world and where we step into a role of authority. And so these are things to also be reflecting on this full moon. In addition, I want to bring in the tarot card. So the tarot card interesting to me because we received the Page of Cups reversed for I commit. And the Page of Cups is a card that in my own practice I associate with Pisces. For one, it's a figure who is holding a cup up towards the sky in communion with spirit, and there's a fish popping out of the cup, which we know Pisces is a sign connected to fish. And being a water sign, it's connected to cups. And I connect the pages to mutable energy. So Page of Cups, mutable water, Pisces. So the sign that comes after Aquarius is Pisces. So we know Saturn will enter Pisces next year in March of 2023. So seeing it in reverse, it's almost, when I get cards in reversal, sometimes it's like, well, that energy's coming, but it's not quite here yet. And that's what I was intuiting here. So I commit. This is an opportunity on this Capricorn full moon for us to look at the big picture and reflect on what Saturn in Aquarius has taught us, because this will be the last Capricorn full moon with Saturn in Aquarius. But Capricorn's always looking ahead. It's preparing for the future, too, as a collective sign, as a cosmic earth sign, I like to call it, too. So we're also looking ahead towards Saturn in Pisces. For those of you who have Saturn in Pisces in your birth chart or who have a lot of Piscean energy, Saturn in Pisces starts in March of 2023, and we're going to begin to build structures, Saturn, and start to commit to our gifts and our authority and our responsibility around the sign of Pisces. And so this is committing to our psychic and spiritual gifts. This is committing to our dreams, our imaginations. This is also a time where if we're going to commit to our dreams, well, we have to start being serious here. We have to start structuring and planning. So this is just something to think about. It's an interesting combo, Saturn and Pisces, and it might really resonate with a generation who also has Neptune and Capricorn. Neptune and Capricorn and Saturn and Pisces are in mutual reception with one another. And then finally, our last phrase is I endure. Capricorn is a sign of great endurance, that fortitude and that ability to get to the top of the mountain takes endurance. And so wherever we have Capricorn placements can show where we are hardworking, where we are diligent, where we take our time and are patient, but also keep moving forward. So I endure. We receive the Six of Pentacles, which often shows a figure with a scale rationing pentacles or money towards two people that are in need. So if you have money, if you have gifts, if you have resources, this Capricorn full moon is an invitation into service and generosity to help others endure. This could also be a time of refinancing in order to endure, in order to make it through this next year. What do you need to put aside? How might you ration? Also, looking, if you do not have a lot of resources at this time, this is reminding us that reaching out to others in our community who may be able to lend a helping hand. And so be patient with yourself in the process. I build, I commit, I endure. And again, our affirmation for this Capricorn full moon, I listen to the ancient wisdom of my work. And so when I say this to myself, it reminds me to really honor the past. As an astrologer, as a teacher, it reminds me to get quiet. And the image of the mountain is coming to mind. This is a symbol for Capricorn. If you're able to visit a mountain or go to the top of the mountain on a Capricorn full moon, this would be the ultimate ritual. So I have some announcement for us. One of my favorite and most rewarding ways to be of service is through offering one-on-one mentorships. So I have a few spots open for this autumn. If you're interested in going deep and diving one-on-one with me, we would meet for 12 weeks. It's a 6-month mentorship. We meet 12 times total every other week for 6 months. In addition, I am also excited to announce that this September I will be collaborating with my friend Ashley River, who is a Taurus, and she is the author of Tending to the Sacred, and we'll be hosting an in-person day retreat in Portland, Oregon. I haven't led an in-person retreat since 2018, so this is exciting for me. All of the details of the event and how to sign up will be announced in the next newsletter and on the next podcast in 2 weeks on the Leo new moon, which is July 28th. But the date, if you are interested, you could go ahead and circle this date, September 14th. It will be an all-day in-person healing retreat in Portland, Oregon. And so I also have availability for astrology and tarot readings. I actually yesterday gave a reading to someone who is on a council here in Portland, Oregon, and I gave a reading for the city of Portland. We looked at the founding date of Portland, and that was really cool to do, and it also felt really Capricorn to do that because Capricorn is connected to the founding date or the, cities and countries and these bigger collective earth themes. So, and to work with someone who's on a council here in the city of Portland, it just felt right for the Capricorn full moon. So I do offer astrology readings, also tarot readings, and, Cancer season is a great time for deep contemplation. And I have availability for the end of July. I have a few spots open, August and September. And so if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, it would be an honor. I'd like to close out our episode talking about Marianne Williamson a little bit. So if you're not familiar with Marianne Williamson, she's an American author. She's a spiritual leader, and she's also a political activist. And so she's written 13 books, including 4 New York Times #1 bestsellers. And she's the founder of Project Angel Food, which is a volunteer food delivery program that serves homebound people with HIV and AIDS and other life-threatening illnesses. Marianne Williamson is most known for her book, A Return to Love, but she is also most recently known for her campaign for the Democratic nomination in the 2020 United States presidential election. And she has written books on politics. And so one of them is A Politics of Love. The reason I'm bringing her up is because Marianne Williamson is a Cancer sun with a Capricorn moon, which is the same energy of the lunation that we're in right now. And she recently posted on her birthday on Instagram, and I thought the Instagram post was quite nice and reflective, and I felt that it was reminiscent of both Cancer and Capricorn. So I wanted to read you this post. She turned 70 this year. And so in this post, it's a video of her from afar walking along the ocean. And Cancer is the connection to the ocean, reflection, and memory. And Capricorn is going on a long walk. And in the first line, the first sentence of her post, it says, "I took a long walk with God along the beach on my 70th birthday yesterday." Capricorn is the long walk with God. Cancer is that walk along the ocean. So Capricorn is typically going to the top of the mountain on their walk, but with the Cancer sun, it feels like walking along the ocean. So I wanted to highlight this post. I'm going to read it to you, because Capricorn is a sign about aging and time. And so this is what her post is about. I took a long walk with God along the beach on my 70th birthday yesterday. Quote, I have honed you. I have chastened you. I have prepared you. Now we'll begin. I took turning 50 very hard. I couldn't believe my youth was irrevocably over. I do remember my friend Tara telling me that 50 is the age past which you don't care what other people think anymore, and she was right. So that part was good. It was hard for me making peace with turning 50, but then, just as friends had told me it would happen, on that day something broke and I was fine with it. With 60, I felt an increase in power, but also the sense that in some way, it was time to start cleaning up the campsite. 70 is big. Somebody said to me in the last couple of days, I don't remember who, it was something about it seeming regal. It does feel regal in some way, although heavy as well, deep, important. You don't turn 70 and just assume there will be another 0 year. You don't say, oh, I wonder what I'll be doing for my 80th, the way you say at 60, oh, I wonder what I'll be doing at my 40th. Of course, you never know if you'll turn 40, just as if you never know if you'll turn 80. But the chances are what the chances are. For those of you turning 50, I wrote a book called The Age of Miracles about that transition, if it would be of interest to you. As far as turning 70 is concerned, I feel everything until now was rehearsal. Decades ago, an old woman I knew said to me, quote, I'll tell you what the best age is. Do you want me to tell you? I said yes, thinking it was probably going to be 35 or 40 or something. She said, 75. You're finally old enough to know what you're doing and still young enough to do it. For decades, I laughed at that story. I thought it was so funny. I still think it's amusing, but for a very different reason. I think I understand now what she meant. And so, to Marianne Williamson, happy birthday. Thank you for your beautiful perspective. Thank you for your life's work. As a Cancer sun with a Capricorn full moon, she is definitely offering her services to the greater community in a healing way, creating offerings that are reflective and spiritual and connected to care, community care. And then the Capricorn moon is resonant with that and her work in the government and as a public leader. We see this polarity activated in her chart. And then she is a Gemini rising, and there is the writing, the communication. And so Marianne Williamson is the nurturing crab, Cancer sun, and an important business meeting, Capricorn moon, delivering messages from divine, Gemini rising. That's exactly what she does through her life and her work. And so I always like looking to, inspiring figures in the world around us to help us understand the astrological energy. And I'm wishing for you an easeful Capricorn full moon. Be gentle with yourself. Be easy on yourself. And to all the Capricorns out there, Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising, we love you. Thanks for all that you do. If you'd like to support this podcast, you could rate, review, leave some comments and love. I always love hearing from you. And as always, take sweet care, cousins, and remember, deep breaths.